extraterrestrial UFO visitors are real, and U.S. military travel to stars. Ben Rich, Lockheed Skunk Works director. Ben Rich, Lockheed Skunk Works director, had admitted in his deathbed confession that extraterrestrial UFO visitors are real, and the U.S. military travel among stars. According to article published in May 2010 issue of the MUFON UFO Journal, Ben Rich, the father of the stealth fighter bomber, and former head of Lockheed Skunk Works, had once let out information about extraterrestrial UFO visitors are real, and U.S. military travel to stars. What he said might be new to many people today, but he revealed the information before his death in January 1995. His statements helped to give credence to reports that the U.S. military has been flying vehicles that mimic alien craft. The article was written by Tom Keller, an aerospace engineer who has worked as a computer systems analyst for NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Inside the Skunk Works, Lockheed's secret research and development entity, we were a small, intensely cohesive group consisting of about 50 veteran engineers and designers, and 100 or so expert machinists and shop workers. Our forte was building technologically advanced airplanes of small number, and of high class for highly secret missions. We already have the means to travel among the stars, but these technologies are locked up in black projects, and it would take an act of God to ever get them out to benefit humanity. Anything you can imagine, we already know how to do. We now have the technology to take ET home. No, it won't take someone's lifetime to do it. There is an error in the equations. We know what it is. We now have the capability to travel to the stars. First, you have to understand that we will not get to the stars using chemical propulsion. Second, we have to devise a new propulsion technology. What we have to do is find out where Einstein went wrong. When Rich was asked how UFO propulsion worked, he said, "Let me ask you. How does ESP work?" The questioner responded with, "All points in time and space are connected." Rich then said, "That's how it works." Ben Rich, Lockheed former director, knew of extraterrestrial UFO visitors. Lockheed Skunk Works former director knew the Roswell extraterrestrial UFO influenced designs of tester model kits for Roswell UFO models, and U.S. top-secret aircraft. According to a CNN News report by Colorado resident Michael Lindman, the design information was derived from forensic illustrations, and numerous witness testimonies about the Roswell UFO, provided by William L. Bill McDonald. In an email, dated July 29, 1999, apparently addressed to Lindman, McDonald referenced an excerpt of a discussion with Harold Puthoff, founder of the highly classified U.S. remote viewing program. McDonald said, "Well, Hal, you asked for it. Now that legendary Lockheed engineer, and chief model kit designer for the Tester Corporation, John Andrews, is dead. I can announce that he personally confirmed the design connection between the Roswell spacecraft, and the Lockheed Martin unmanned combat air vehicles, UCAFs, spy planes, joint strike fighters, and space shuttles." Andrews was a close personal friend of Skunk Works director Ben Rich. The hand-picked successor of Skunk Works founder Kelly Johnson, and the man famous for the F-117 Nighthawk stealth fighter. Its half-a-pint prototype they have blue, and the top-secret F-19 stealth interceptor. Before Rich died of cancer, Andrews took my questions to him. Dr. Ben R. Rich, former Lockheed Skunk Works director, confirmed. There are two types of UFOs. The ones we build and ones they build. We learned from both crash retrievals, and actual hand-me-downs. The government knew and until 1969 took an active hand in the administration of that information. After a 1969 Nixon purge, administration was handled by an international board of directors in the private sector. Nearly all biomorphic aerospace designs were inspired by the Roswell spacecraft, from Kelly's SR-71 Blackbird onward to today's drones, UCAFs, and aerospace craft. It was Ben Rich's opinion that the public should not be told about UFOs and extraterrestrials. He believed they could not handle the truth, ever. Only in the last months of his decline did he begin to feel that the International Corporate Board of Directors dealing with the subject could represent a bigger problem to citizens' personal freedoms under the United States Constitution than the presence of off-world visitors themselves. Lindemann added that Bill McDonald received the above information from Andrews from 1994 until their last phone call near Christmas in 1998. Lindemann also noted it should also be known that Dr. Ben R. Rich attended a public aerospace designers and engineers conference in 1993 before his illness overwhelmed him, in which he stated, in the presence of MUFON Orange County Section Director Jan Hartson, and many others, that we, the U.S. aerospace community, military-industrial complex, had in its possession the technology to take us to the stars. Lockheed Skunk Works engineer USAF, and CIA contractor admitted, UFO are real. Don Phillips, these UFOs were huge and they would just come to a stop and do a 60-degree, 45-degree, 10-degree turn, and then immediately reverse this action. During the Apollo landing, Neil Armstrong says, "They're here. They are right over there and looking at the size of those ships. It is obvious they don't like us being here." When I was working with the Skunk Works with Kelly Johnson, we signed an agreement with the government to keep very quiet about this. Anti-gravitational research was going on. We know that there were some captured craft from 1947 in Roswell. They were real. And, yes, we really did get some technology from them. And, yes, we really did put it to work. We knew each other from what we call an unseen industry. We can term it black, deep black, or hidden. The knowledge I have of these technologies came from the craft that were captured here. I didn't see the craft, nor did I see the bodies, but I certainly know some of the people that did. There was no question that there were beings from outside the planet. And if alien were hostile, with their weaponry they could have destroyed us a long time ago. We got these things that are handheld scanners that scan the body, and determine what the condition is. We can also treat from the same scanner. I can tell you personally that we've been working on them. And we have ones that can diagnose, and cure cancer. One of the purposes I had for founding my technology corporation in 1998 was to bring forth these technologies that can clean the air, and can help get rid of the toxins, and help reduce the need for so much fossil fuel. Yes, it is time. I can tell you personally that it has already started. In the past we had posted about UFOs landing in front of former US President Eisenhower at Holloman Air Force Base, and how US State Representative confirms that US President Eisenhower met aliens. We had also been reported about Eisenhower's great-granddaughter's claim too, in which she has exposed her attempted recruitment into a secret Mars colony project. In recent confessions from UK, France, China admitted that UFO are real, and of ET origin. And NASA in its own continuous disclosure style informed the world that they had found more new Earth-like planets. All above incidents, and individuals' testimony clearly showed that we are not alone, never were actually. This an email, according to which Joanne Andrews had sent a letter to Ben Rich regarding his belief in man-made UFOs, and extraterrestrial UFOs. On July 10, 1986. I believe with certainty in man-made UFOs. I am tending to believe there are also extraterrestrial UFOs. John Andrews. Joanne Andrews claimed that above document was handwritten by Ben Rich according to it. Yes, I'm a believer in both categories. Ben Rich, July 21, 1986 source. Andrews relayed Rich's responses to questions from UFO investigator William MacDonald, which confirmed. There are two types of UFOs. The ones we build. Ones they build. We learned from both crash retrievals, and actual hand-me-downs. The government knew, and until 1969 took an active hand in the administration of that information. After a 1969 Nixon purge, administration was handled by an international board of directors in the private sector. Former astronaut Dr. Edgar Mitchell confirmed an incident in 1997 where the head of intelligence for the Joint Chiefs of Staff was supplied the code names of UFO-related projects, but was denied need to access. The first to report the incident was UFO researcher Dr. Stephen Greer, who in 2001 revealed that Admiral Wilson was furious over his failure to gain access. On a July 4, 2008 CNN interview, Dr. Mitchell confirmed Greer's version of events when he said that Admiral Wilson had found the people responsible for the cover-up, and for the people who were in the know, and were told, "I'm sorry, Admiral, you do not have need to know here, and so, goodbye." A reliable source furthermore revealed to UFO researcher Richard Dolan that Admiral Wilson was frustrated by attorneys of a corporation that denied him access. I interviewed an active-duty U.S. Navy officer in October 2008 who confirmed the powerful role of corporations involved in UFO projects. Extraterrestrial UFO visitors are real, and U.S. military travel to stars. Ben Rich, Lockheed Skunk Works director. Ben Rich, Lockheed Skunk Works helped to give credence to reports that the U.S. military has been flying vehicles that mimic alien craft. The article was written by Tom Keller, an aerospace engineer who has worked as a computer systems analyst for NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Inside the Skunk Works, Lockheed Skunk Works had once let out information about extraterrestrial UFO visitors are real, and U.S. military travel to stars. What he said might be new to many people today, but he revealed the information before his death in January 1995. His statement director had admitted in his deathbed confession that extraterrestrial UFO visitors are real, and the U.S. military travel among stars. According to article published in May 2010 issue of the MUFON UFO Journal, Ben Rich, the father of the stealth fighter bomber, and former head